Welcome to Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Tuesday, October 16th. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, a huge hack at the Pentagon, plus an iPhone problem that can't be fixed, and more problems with Windows 10. All that and more in Tech News Today from Commando.com. We start with a data breach that has hit the Defense Department. More than 30,000 workers in the Pentagon have had their personal information compromised. A contractor made some sort of undisclosed mistake and left data as sensitive as credit card numbers exposed. The breach was found October 4th, but the mistake may have been around longer than that. The Pentagon is downplaying the breach and is contacting people who were exposed. It says the contractor has been tossed. The Defense Department has been hacked and breached multiple times in recent years. Well, this time, both military and civilian workers are affected. Just recently, it was revealed that the Pentagon security was so poor that weapon systems themselves were open to hackers. So be careful what you put online. Let's face it, if the Pentagon can get hacked, anybody can get hacked. And the bad news keeps rolling in for the new Apple iPhone XS. People have been complaining about poor charging, poor reception, a weird camera flaw, and Wi-Fi connection issues. Apple has fessed up and says there are problems, but expects iOS 12 updates to fix most of the issues. But there's one issue that they can't fix, which is the battery. A new study found that the battery life on the iPhone XS is terrible, especially the gigantic XS Max, the largest and most expensive iPhone ever made. It can't get close to the long life of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. In an experiment, the two phones were run side by side. As the XS Max ran out of power, the Note 9 still had 37% of its battery power left. That's not even close. So what is the problem? It seems like software is draining the battery, and at such a rate that a simple update can't begin to catch it up to the Samsung. The Note 9 was even the longest-lasting Android phone out there. And what's the solution for Apple fans? Well, go for the iPhone XR instead, which is cheaper and does have a better battery life, as opposed to a buttery battery life. And there's another software problem to note in Windows. We'll tell you about that next. Right now, a quick thank you to our friends who help make this podcast possible. Here's another software problem to note, and this one is in Windows. The latest update to Windows 10 has been full of flaws, and now people are reporting that after the latest update, their computer audio isn't working. This is another mistake for Microsoft, which has been having a ton of troubles with Windows 10 updates. This month's update deleted user files, and a Patch Tuesday update crashed computers because of keyboard driver problems. Well, now this. With broken audio drivers, Microsoft hasn't said anything official, but keep an eye out for the updates, and you might want to hold off until bugs are worked out if you didn't update your computer already. Keep checking in with us at Commando.com to see how the Windows updates and Patch Tuesdays are doing. Well, in case you didn't hear, the times ran out for Sears. Boy, this is kind of hard to believe. The longtime retailer is filing for bankruptcy and will close 142 stores. The iconic store has been around since 1892 and has weathered all sorts of changes in the market, but the final nail in the coffin may be the same one that's hit many retailers in the past decade or so: online shopping, such as Amazon. Of course, that's taken off in ways that they didn't even realize that would. All the older retailers have hit the skids: Toys R Us, Best Buy, Barnes & Noble. Wow, this kind of really tells you about the times just in the last 5 years. 5 years ago, Sears and Kmart combined, of course they combined a while back, had nearly 2,000 stores. And now they're down combined to about 700 stores. Sign of the times, I guess. Here's a medical breakthrough that is built on artificial intelligence. An AI tool built by Google is 99% accurate in finding some breast cancer tumors. The kind that they find are metastatic, the toughest, most dangerous kind that can be spread through the body. They also can be the most difficult to detect. 90% of breast cancer deaths are because of these cells. Well, now, the new tool, called Lina for lymph node assistance, can spot this cancer in microscope slides. It can also detect extremely small cancer cells that human doctors can miss. Of course, this is a huge development and could really attack one of the worst cancers out there. So very, very good news, and I guess the positive side of technology after we get the negative with Sears and Kmart. More medical tech news for you that includes the Apple Watch coming up next. Right now, a quick thank you to our partners who help make these podcasts possible. So it's another medical story and another free watch from Apple. Yesterday we told you about how Apple is giving away its watch to the study of overeating. Well, now Apple Watches are joining a major clinical study of knee and joint replacement. Like the eating study, patients who are undergoing knee or hip replacement might get a free Apple Watch to monitor their progress, with the Apple Watch and the iPhone app to go along with it. The patient's information will be sent to a doctor and studied constantly before and after the surgery. That cuts down the need for in-person visits. The study, called My Mobility, could end up enrolling as many as 10,000 people across the United States. And if you're interested, go to the website zbmymobility.com. Once again, that's ZB and then mymobility.com. And we've all seen funny things going on at Google Street View, crazy horse-headed people, fake murder scenes, even some climbing in and out of windows by guys who may be crooks or maybe just joking around. Well, this one wasn't so funny for the guy who found the picture. A man in Peru was looking for a map to reach a popular bridge in the nation's capital, and looking on Google Street View, he saw a picture of a woman on a bench near the bridge, with a man leaning over and in her lap and her stroking his hair. He said, "Wait a minute, that looks very familiar." And he zoomed in to find out that that woman was his wife, stroking the hair of another man. And it was an older photo too, taken about 5 years ago. Well, it pretty much is obvious that the woman once had an affair, and she did admit to it. They have now divorced. The moral is, be careful what you're doing when a Google Maps car drives by. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, do us a favor, give us a good rating on wherever you listen to us. We would appreciate that. It helps other people find us. And finally, for today's Commando Kicker. Well, this wasn't in California, but there was gold in them thar hills. A nickel mine in Australia has hit the mother lode. Miners were trying to close up a shaft at Beta Hunt Mine in southwestern Australia and ended up uncovering gold. And it wasn't just little tiny bits of gold either. One of the stones weighed more than 200 pounds and held more than 2,000 ounces of gold. Officials aren't sure whether the haul, around $50 million worth, is the tip of the iceberg or just good luck. To be sure, they will keep digging. For more fun and interesting facts, go to commando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. And that's our tech news today from commando.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.